What's going on, everyone? Alex Da Silva, Happy as Larry Group. I hope you are well and welcome to your daily dose of happiness outside in the fresh air, which is nice. It's not the greatest of weather, but it's actually not that cold. I hope you're having a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. And I just wanted to today talk to you about something that I thought, I actually made fun of this. Lucy's running around with Ruby, but I'm going to get her to talk a little bit about it if possible. But today I want to talk to you guys about boundaries. And I never understood what boundaries were, because for me the word I used were barriers. I always put my barriers up and I thought they were the same thing, and it's far from it. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about today, because we always talk about self-care. We always talk about looking after ourselves, and and that then reciprocates to what we do externally with other people. So boundaries is a huge one for me. I knew nothing about it, had no idea sort of what it meant, and I started to understand it a little bit more. I started to understand that they're healthy. Instead of coming into a relationship or a situation with my barriers up, I come in with boundaries. And boundaries are a much healthier way to protect myself. So what I've learned and what it means to me, personal boundaries are limits, and they are things that we put in place to protect ourselves effectively. They're kind of the simple term of it. And there are internal boundaries and external boundaries. Internal boundaries are my emotions, so everything that I experience, and I put boundaries in place to make sure that I don't get hurt. Sometimes that can work, sometimes it doesn't, but that's down to me. And I understand that by putting the right boundaries in place, I allow myself to be vulnerable, to still be honest, to be open, and to allow myself to just experience, not be afraid. And I think that's the most powerful thing that I've learned about having boundaries, is that I don't have to be scared. I don't have to be worried about anything, because as long as I set those things in place, that is a huge one for when it comes down to self-care and self-respect, self-love. And so having boundaries is a phenomenal thing, because the difference between boundaries and barriers is, as I said, coming into a situation, whether I'm having a conversation with somebody or whatever it may be, it means that I can come in and be and be strong, and be open, be vulnerable, be able to express myself openly, allow people to get close to me, with my emotions, not have barriers and and have this kind of lock up my emotions in Pandora's box, which is what I used to do a lot of the times, and not allow people to come into my personal space. So boundaries is so important to have, because what you're allowing yourself to do is to just practice things in a healthy way. But what you're also setting is you're setting limitations. You're setting you're setting guidelines that if you cross this, then this is what will happen, and that's the difference between, having your barriers up, not allowing anybody to come close to you at all, to being able to allow people to come close to you. I'm talking from an emotional perspective, so people joining in, I'm talking about, internal boundaries, so your emotional boundaries. And external boundaries is, people getting into your personal space, and some people can really get into personal space. Some people don't understand that. Again, the difference between, having your barriers up and practicing healthy boundaries means that you allow people to come in, you allow people to come close, you allow people to have, contact, but contact that is allowed by you. So people are not taking, one step too far. People aren't taking advantage of you, and I think these are clear guidelines, not only for other people, but for you. And if you're one of these people that I used to be, I used to say, oh, I'm such an open book. Oh, I'm an open book. And I remember Lucy saying to me, he said, that's a really dangerous thing to say to people, you know, because what you are almost silently saying to people is that, you know, you're up for the taking. That means you have no boundaries. So people can come and dump all their stuff on you, and they can tell you all their problems, which is what we used to happen. Oh, you're such a great listener. And people will dump their stuff on me and then just go off in their merry way, and I'd be the one left with all their personal issues. So no personal boundaries there whatsoever, you know, internally, emotionally, and externally as well, personal boundaries. And I started to realize that actually, once I started to look at myself and started to look at, you know, respecting who I am as an individual, I started to realize, actually, I don't like this. I don't like people touching me. I don't like people grabbing me. I don't like, you know, forcing, you know, their opinions on me or whatever it may be. And I started to enforce healthy boundaries, things to protect me, things that will make me happy. And why should I do that? Why should you do that? Because you deserve it. It's you. You have to choose. Who do you want to make happy? Do you want to make other people happy, or do you want to be happy in your life? And that's such a key question, because everybody goes, oh, you know, I love being happy and I love making other people happy. Making other people happy makes me happy. Short term, yes, I agree. But I think if we don't have healthy boundaries in place, what can often happen, and I've seen this happen to me, I've seen it happen to other people, is that those boundaries keep getting crossed and crossed because people don't realize. And sometimes people don't do things on purpose. They're not hurting us on purpose, but because they don't understand where our limitations are and what's healthy and what's not, what's okay and what's not, what can make us happy and what can make us sad, if we don't put those things clearly in place, what happens is that people start to cross the boundaries. They start to cross those invisible lines. And that's so key, to make sure that you have your lines clear. Your guidelines are clearly in place, and you're telling people exactly what those guidelines are. So if you're in a relationship, the way you speak to somebody, make sure that you are boundary, that you have boundaries of how you communicate with people, how you say things, maybe how, you know, make sure that you're not saying too much. If you've experienced being hurt, people throwing things in your face. So that's something, I'm just using an example, and vice versa, the way people speak to you, how you are treated in a relationship. If somebody's speaking to you in a certain way and it's hurting your feelings, it's hurting, you know, it's making you feel insecure, well, is that making you happy? If it's not, then put a boundary in place, communicate that clearly. And here is the thing, if people keep pushing those boundaries and they don't respect them, it's down to you to make the right decision. And the right decision often means is what's going to make me happy. You either enforce the boundaries or you leave. You do something else. You move on to another relationship. You know, you move away from those people that have no respect for you, that don't respect your boundaries, internal and external. You know, if you're at work and you have a boss, you know, whatever it may be, or a colleague that comes too close or keeps touching you or keeps grabbing you, or, you know, just because some people just don't understand that. There is nothing wrong with saying to them, please, can you not do that? And if you do it in a polite way, hello, look, hello. I'm just talking about your favorite subjects. Boundaries. Lucy's the one that taught me about these. So look, I want you guys to put those things into place, you know, put it into practice every day. And if you don't have them, you want to know a little bit more about them, and you want to understand more, I am more than happy to sit with you 10-15 minutes and give you exactly, I can even send you some stuff around boundaries. One of our flagship programs, or our flagship program, we have a whole thing just purely on boundaries, so we can help you with that. So if you are interested and you want me to send you some stuff, just say yes below. Please send me some stuff around boundaries and I'll send it through to you for free, just because it helped me, you know. And again, look, that was given to me for free, you know, from Lucy, and it's something that I started to really practice, and it just changed everything for me, because today I know how to say no. If I don't want to do something, I say no. And I mean this in the nicest possible way. I don't really care how it makes the other person feel, because it's not about them, it's about me. I have to put me first. And of course, there are times when we're going to do things for other people because we want to help others, and especially if you're a kind person. But if it takes you to the next level where all of a sudden then it starts to make you resentful, well, put the boundary in place. Mikey's feeling on top of the world. He's just got the grant for his CBD store, feeling more than confident. Love that, Mikey. Let's talk about it. I need me some CBD oil. Someone's been telling me that it's very good for inflammation. I have some shoulder issues and some inflammation on my knee, so definitely I'd love to catch up with you on that. Listen, guys. Hello. Have an amazing day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. And as always, be great, be fantastic, and be absolutely phenomenal today. Have an amazing weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Stick to these guidelines. Keep safe, keep healthy. As Mikey said, get on top of the world and stay there. Keep growing. Look, if you look at the world, look at the sky, there's no ceiling. So the only limitations is but what you say to yourself. So remove those limitations, put those healthy boundaries in place, and just become the best version of yourself every single day. So as always, comment below if you want me to send you some of the stuff that we've got around boundaries. More than happy to send it. It gives you a good guideline of exactly what to do. And I'll speak to you again very soon. All right, I'll speak to you soon. Take care, guys. Bye.